friends, welcome back to our channel. Join me today as I tackle different projects. I got cleaning some windows and doing some organizing kitchen drawer as well as a little pantry area. So maybe stick around, and at the end of the video I'll show you some clips from our little trip that we went on recently to Tucson. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. Today I've decided I need to do some cleaning like normal, except for today it's gonna be a little different. I've got mopping to do. I want to go do some organizing. I have some stuff in my kitchen that I need to really go through and get cleaned out. Pantry and one of my small pantries and a drawer, that infamous junk drawer. And then I'm hoping to get to the windows, cleaning out the windowsill ledges and stuff like that. So why don't you guys come along and join me as I tackle some of these projects. Okay, so Turkey was just given this for Christmas. Come here, Turkey. So we're gonna open it up now. He was given a good number of toys, so he's been playing with them and hasn't had a chance to get to all of them, obviously. So anyways, I'm gonna do some cleaning and I want him to have his own stuff so that way we can both clean together. How does that sound? Yeah? That sound good? So let's get it opened. Open it up. Let's open it up. As I'm sure you can imagine, once I opened up that cleaning set for my boy, guess what he played with? Yep, he played with the box. That's what he really wanted to play with. I've started doing baby-led weaning with my little almost 6-month-old, and for those of you guys that have done that, you know how it can get really messy, and so it was high time to mop again, even though it really only needed it in one area. Of course, once you get going, then you suddenly realize how many areas actually were dirty that you hadn't noticed, but I just wanted to document the amount of dirt. Every time she eats off her spoon, she'll drop the spoon. So there's splatters, and of course I'm wiping up after every meal, but still, over time, somehow there's splatters and bits of food that get left behind. I love the smell of pine sol, but for some reason when I have the sponge drying in the back entryway, it has a really bad smell. Like, it makes the back entry area not smell so good, so I like to set it outside to dry it. It's actually really nice outside today. I have the back door open. I have sent the turkey outside to play for a bit, and I'm going to try to tackle the junk drawer. Let me show you. It looks pretty bad. It's been a while since I went through it, so I'm just going to try to go through it and just get rid of anything that we don't need, anything we're not using, and really try to pare it down. So here's the before. Sometimes you can't open it because stuff gets stuck up here, so let's go through it and get everything sorted out. Does anybody else get the urge to clean and tidy after the Christmas and holiday season? I know right after Christmas we kind of got a sudden bug to just go through stuff, so we were sorting and cleaning out, and it's actually a lot of fun. Sometimes it can be hard to think through what to keep and what to get rid of, but if you do sections at a time, I feel like it's much easier. I didn't actually realize, someone told me that, or I heard someone say that it's actually very exhausting on your brain to just go through things because you're thinking through what you want to keep and what you shouldn't keep, and it's actually really hard mentally. So if you do stuff in chunks, then it's easier to think through stuff and it's not as hard. It's kind of an interesting thing to think about. Basically, the way I decided to go through the drawer was just to empty it first, take everything out, and then one by one go through things. I grabbed a cardboard box so I could have something to throw the thrifted stuff into, and then I had my garbage close by to throw away anything that wasn't really thrift worthy. It may appear like I'm keeping pretty much everything, which I will say for the most part, most of the things I did keep because we needed to have them on hand, but there were some things I just needed to put in a different spot, like some tools or some maybe office type stuff that I typically keep somewhere else. So like the stapler and staples, I put those in a different place and just basically put things back where they were supposed to go, and just doing that made a huge difference, as you'll see once I finish up. Have any of you guys been doing any cleaning out or decluttering lately? There's a podcast that I really like to listen to by Dana K. White, and she talks a lot about different methods for decluttering and getting rid of stuff and practical ways to go about it, and I find that really interesting to listen to, because she has so many good tips and just practical things that you can do to keep your house clean. One thing that she referenced was letters and paperwork. Those can build up so quickly, and for her, what she does is she just, whenever she gets the mail, she takes care of the mail right away. She throws away the junk, she keeps the important, and she files the, I don't know, whatever needs to be filed. Like basically she just doesn't have mail sitting out. And I've noticed when I get the mail, if I take care of it right away, then, you don't have mail then sitting around for days. It's kind of a duh. But still, if I ever just set it down and I'm like, I'm going to take care of that later, inevitably it's a couple days before I get to it. So that's just one example of something she talked about. I just finished organizing the drawer, and I think I'm going to work on the windows now. This is actually the perfect day because it's not really cold outside. And there's no condensation on the windows like there is when it gets really, really cold. So let's go ahead and do that. This is one of those things that in some ways I kind of dread doing. But when you actually go and do it, it's not that big of a deal. Because we live in the desert, it's generally pretty dry, but for some reason, I guess there was condensation that had built up, and there was some stuff growing on the inside of the window I had noticed. So I used a toothpick to just push the paper towel into where I couldn't really get it myself. And then I grabbed this little handy dandy little broom brush thing and brushed out the dead bugs or stuff that was in the windowsill. Then I followed that with some water. At first I used a little straw cleaner that I had, but then I went and commandeered a cleaning brush from the bathroom. It is no longer a toothbrush, it's now a cleaning brush. I think the last time I did this was about 7 months ago. So in some ways it hadn't been that long, but at the same time it was kind of amazing the stuff that had built up. Sometimes I've wondered how people keep stuff so clean and tidy, and then at one point I remember realizing it's actually because they clean. it's not like they're always buying new things. They just clean what they have. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do more of these days. Try to do a good job taking care of what we have, and as a result have things looking in better shape. When we have really beautiful days like this one, it makes me feel like summer's coming. And I know once things get really warm, I'm not going to want to be inside. I'm going to want to be outdoors. So that's partly why there's things here and there that I'm going to be doing over the next couple months. Just to, I guess, tackle those things that maybe you would do in the summer that I want to get done and out of the way. So that way when the summer comes, then we are free to do more things outside. Even though we live in the desert where it gets quite warm, I do love to spend as much time as I can outside. Anybody else like me? Out of all the windows, this one was probably the worst. It's the one where if there are flies in the house, they often flock to this one. And believe it or not, there were bees that were coming inside. I had bees while I was cleaning that just kept coming, and even though we have like a screen door, they still sneak around it and stuff. But they must have smelt moisture in the air or something, I don't know, because they were very docile, but they just kept wanting to come inside. At this point, you're probably like, when is Krista gonna stop cleaning the windows? But I did, I want to say 4 out of the 6. So I got the majority of them done. The others will have to wait for another day. Same for the windows. I cleaned the windows when we listed the house. I want to say it was in June of last year. Maybe it was in May. Anyways, they've gotten kind of grimy since then, some of them. Some of them are pretty good, others, well, my little guy can access some of the other ones, so they definitely need a good wiping down, but I'm gonna do that another day as well.
Going through things, trying to get rid of stuff. I find the more things there are in the house, the heavier I tend to feel. Like it's a sense of, there's a sense of like a weight or burden. And when I get rid of stuff, it's just that, like, it just feels so much better, so much freer. You guys know what I mean? Anyways, I have this cupboard that I've been meaning to take care of for a while. I've kind of been putting it off, but it's been getting worse and worse. So, yeah. Part of the problem is we storage situation in here, but take a look at that. You see that? Let me show you what it looks like closer up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this, pull out stuff, anything we're not using, we don't need. I might refill containers with these bags, and the goal is just to kind of tidy it up a little bit as best as we can. So let's do it.
So everything in this pantry is basically the stuff that I've opened up to refill containers. It's not my main storage, so it's things that I've dumped into containers that I use currently, and then the extra that I put in this cupboard. So it was kind of messy. And I hate when I think I'm out of something and then I go back to the cupboard and find out after buying some more that I already had some. So that's what I'm trying to avoid with getting this organized.
Can you tell I buy a lot from True Healthy Mama? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stuff I don't use as often into this container. Oh, I was looking for this. Ah. Did you know, I usually take this when I'm pregnant towards the end of a pregnancy, raspberry leaf tea, but I just heard of somebody who was taking it every day. She was drinking it every day just to help hormonal health, and I thought that was a really good idea. So I was trying to find it the other day, I couldn't find it. Anyways. So I'm going to put the stuff I don't use as often into this bottom container, and then I think I'm going to kind of put it on its side, and then I'll do the other things that I go through more often. I'm going to put it in here. I would love to get a shelf installed in here, but for now this is what I have to work with, so let's do it. This is my starter, so if my sourdough starter if I ever mess up and don't save some after I feed it or something happens, I've got dehydrated starter. How cool is that? I probably should blend it up, but anyways.
And now it's done. I think it looks pretty good.
A whole lot better about that. It's really nice to get that. Even though I didn't really get a lot gotten rid of, it's nice to get it all kind of cleaned up and put back in order. So thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed just watching what I was doing. If you have any tips for me as I do this homemaking thing, let me know. I feel like there's lots to learn, and it's fun to show you what I do, and maybe you could share with me some things that you guys like to do, just things to help your house run smoother. So we'll talk to you guys later. See you next week. Do you want to help me?
What do you need help with?
We may have a... What's the really big spider called?
Daddy Longlegs?
You guys, this is proof that you should go through your stuff every once in a while. It's been maybe a couple months, maybe 4 months, 5 months since I checked this bin. I just pulled it out to go through some of the stuff that was here under my sink and discovered it. What is that, a recluse? Can you tell? Probably brown recluse?
And just for kicks, I wanted to document a little bit of our trip to Tucson recently. This weekend, we drove a couple hours to spend some time with some friends. So the timing is kind of cool because we had someone who was going to buy something from us. So we're going to go meet up with them. It'll be about an hour and 45 minutes, would you say? So...
Up in Phoenix.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead there and meet up with them now. We went and stayed with some friends in Tucson, some friends from our area, and it was really neat to be able to go hang out with them for a while. There were lots of late nights, lots of good discussions. So, as you can imagine, the kids didn't get their naps in like normal, and so it was good just to have a day of kind of driving and being a bit quiet for a bit.
Just met up with the guy and we delivered the Facebook deal we were selling. So anyway, we are headed to do some sourcing, hopefully, at this thrift mall, or this, whatever you call antique mall thing. So it'll be interesting to see what we can find there.
I couldn't believe when we walked into this antique store just the amount of items that were in there. Honestly, it wasn't until we left that I realized that it's actually a place where you can come and consign stuff. You can have a booth, you can display your items, and so I thought that was pretty cool. That makes more sense to me why there were so many things and why it was arranged the way it was. But it was pretty neat just to look at everything. I could have spent way longer in there, so much longer, but for the amount of time we were in there, I gotta say, at one point I was like, we should just go. Like, it's fun to look at it, but there were so many things I would have loved to pick up. So many things that we really didn't need, just that were so cool. So incredibly cool. Anyways, if you're ever in the Tucson area, I highly recommend you check out, I think it's called Call It New, Call It Antique. I believe that's the name of it. It was in Phoenix, or the Mesa area. And then later, during that trip, we decided to do something like go into a trampoline park. I'm not sure if it was more for the benefit of the adults or the kid, but everybody enjoyed it. Whether we were laughing at the turkey's facial expressions or laughing at each other, watching everybody kind of make an attempt at different things, but in the end, everybody was super sweaty, and well, except for me, because I ended up watching the little one. I didn't really want to spend the money for me to just do a little bit, but mostly help out with the kids. So I figured, hey, I'll save the money for coffee money, and I'll enjoy watching and catch video clips for everybody. My husband tried doing this little obstacle course. The first time he did it, he made it up the warp wall, as they call it. But then when I went to actually video it, this was at the end of our time there, after about an hour of non-stop going, and he was so worn out, he couldn't get it. He kept trying though, just so we could get a shot of it. He tried so many times, and eventually he was like, okay, it's not gonna happen. But this is just to give record that he did do it at least once. And this concludes the clips I got from our trip to Tucson. I wish I'd gotten more, but that's alright. There was a lot going on, and we were trying to just enjoy being there with our friends. So thank you guys for hanging out, and hope you enjoyed the extra bonus clip. And I'll see you guys on Saturday with another video.